As always, it is an incredible honor and a privilege to talk to our comrades in the domestic workers and many of the other guests that are here. And I think what I do want to start with is to both remind you and me about where it is we come from. Besides the fact that we are without doubt the sons and daughters of Nelson Mandela and many others who had gone with him and played such a central role in liberating our people. We also revolutionaries in the spirit of Comrade Schoen, whose memorial is outside. And you would have seen how she lived her life in service of our people. Now her life was ended by a bomb that was placed by the apartheid government. But the point is that she had spent her whole life in fighting for democracy, in fighting for a better life for all of our people. But her life is no different from the lives of many of our mothers and fathers who every day go through incredible battles to raise their children and make sure that they're able to provide for their families. Their lives are no different from the mother who stands on the picket line with the union to stop the company from closing because they know if they lose their job, there'll be no food on the table. And how do they look in the eyes of their children and there's nothing to eat? Now those are the stories that shape our politics. That's our history. That is who we are. And it's because of that history that we come to play this role in the struggle. It doesn't matter where you find yourself. The fact that I'm the male candidate makes me no different from what you are, comrades. We all just serve our organization at different points. I'm not Tony as an individual here alone. I am an accumulation of you, your ideas, your experiences, and the wisdom that you brought to COSATU, because COSATU shaped my ideas and shaped my contribution. So together we make sure that our organization responds to our people's needs, and together we decide where it is that they serve. So no one's contribution is more or less. No one's value is more or less. And that's got to be the basis of the kind of society that we have to build. What we've seen more and more in Cape Town over the last 5 years especially is that the city administration under the DA has been more concerned about the issues and the interest of wealthy people. And so we'll see that our people in Makassa get toilets with no surround while they build bicycle lanes in Table. Our people have to take chances with their lives on the train system every morning as they come to work in Metro Rail because it's so overcrowding, while in Tableview they have these new fancy buses. They also have buses that now run from the airport to the city centre every 20 minutes. The other day when I was in that bus, there were 3 people in it. Those people could have been put in a taxi. Those buses cost 322 million rand a year to run. My point is that they'll spend the money on what is their people, on the wealthier communities, but they won't spend it on us. The working class, working families, the people of Mitchell's Plain and Kailicha has a more urgent need. Their issues must be dealt with more urgently. And so we know when people live in backyards and they have no sanitation or no water or no electricity, that's what we must do first. We must make sure that people in the backyards, that they have facilities and they have some rights to their property where they stay until we can build them proper houses. But when we don't do that, essentially what we're doing in Cape Town is we're perpetuating the original sin of South Africa. The first and biggest sin in South Africa was the sin of apartheid. It was that divided our people in the most cruel and brutal ways. And what the DA is doing now by focusing on wealthy people, they're continuing that brutal divide. They're building the dreams of wealthy people at the cost of the dreams of working people. And that's why we must say that this election is probably the most important local government election we've ever fought. And we must win. We must win to make sure that we turn around this abuse of our people. We must win so that we can make sure we put the city on a new path, a path that's focused on working people first. Because we hold in our hands the dreams and ambitions of millions of working families who look towards us for making sure we can bring the changes that they so desperately desire. But we want to build a partnership with rich communities. So there's got to be partnerships between the rich and the poor, between black and white, because it's only if we do it together that we'll build the kind of city that can represent all of our interests. And there's many people who understand that we can't go after wealthy people at the cost of poor people. This country and this city is going to go to war against each other because it's dividing us even further. Many of you work as domestic workers and you work for many employers who are wealthy, often white, mostly white I suppose. And I hope that many of them understand that they can't be undermining your interest or your family's interest in their communities by the way that they react in Constantia. And those who look a bit further will know that we've got to build that partnership. They may have treated us as second-class citizens in the past, but we will make sure that they recognize our people and that they respect our people. And so I want to make the same point today that I made before. Can I have some water, please? Before was to say that as a government we have land in Constantia. Many of our people who work in domestic positions work in Constantia. Why must they travel from Guguletu or Mitchells Plain or Kailicha, those long distances every day they don't live in? Why can't they live in that area if we can build houses there, if we have land? Now I know that in the past the ANC had that land and the ANC did not build it there. And we must tell our comrades who was in charge then that you weren't moving fast enough. But we must learn from that to tell ourselves that this time we must make sure that we move faster. Thanks, Omar. This time we must move faster and we must make sure that we build those houses in Constantia. Because my brothers and sisters, I want to ask you whether there's any difference between a rich white man or black man who lives in Constantia and a poor white or black man. We have the same dream. We want a safe house for our children, we want good schools that they can go to, and we want our families to be able to have a future. There's no difference between white dreams and black dreams. We may do those dreams in a smaller house, but those dreams are as noble when it comes from the hearts of our people as it is when it comes from the hearts of millionaires. And that's the kind of city we want to build. No longer are we going to have the divides that we've seen. And we're not doing that because we want to fight with the wealthy people or fight with the white people. We're doing that because it's the right thing to do. That too long our people have been denied. And many of our people grew up in those areas many years ago. We were evicted from those areas. Why can't people move back there? We're working in those areas and we need opportunities there. Because we've got to undo the apartheid divide. Even in the new government, all we've done is we've really continued the spatial divides amongst our communities. So we get some integration in table view, where white and black people are now living together, who are all wealthy. But working class black people are continually thrown in Delft and Kailicha and Mitchells Plain. Why can't they live closer to their places of work? Why can't they live closer to other opportunities? We've got to find a way to integrate communities. So that's what we want to do, comrades. That's why we're fighting for power, so that we can make the kind of changes that we promised our children would be the hallmark of the society that we would build under the Freedom Charter. And the Freedom Charter is not only a dream. Freedom Charter is a promise that we made our people. And it's time to realize those promises. And it's time to tell those rich people in the ANC, because we know that there are many in the ANC who are more concerned about their pockets. And so as long as they can live in Constantia, then everything is okay. We must tell them that if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. And you must choose a side. You either choose the side of justice or you continue to choose the side of division. And if you're representing our people, you must come together with our people. So we come to the elections and we come to speak to our people because we have a plan. We know what we want to do around the economy so that there's more job opportunities, and so that we grow the economy in a way that our children have opportunities for the future. We know that we want to change education and healthcare so that when our mothers go to the day hospital, the facilities are there and the medicines are there that they need. When our children go to school, it's not the schools that are overcrowded, and often there's no school books and certainly no computers in many instances. We want the same opportunities and the same resources for our children in Mitchells Plain and Kailicha as they have here in the shadows of Table Mountain, in Claremont and Constantia. And that's how we build a more fair society. That's what we want to do. That's why we're fighting this election. And comrades, what we must do is we must build a partnership, because no government can do this on its own. We must do this together. Our people must be actively involved in what it is that we're going to do. And so I want to assure you that as you go to your family members, as you go to your friends in their communities, and as you encourage them to make sure they come out on the 18th and vote ANC, that it's about building a new life for our people. Because even though I have to be the mayor for all people who live in the city of Cape Town, I'm going to be a special friend to workers and people who live on the Cape Flats. And so we're going to make sure that domestic workers are priority, that the laws that you fought about with the Department of Labour yesterday, that those or the day before are implemented more speedily. That we call the city of Cape Town a decent work city where every worker's rights is upheld. We deal with the problems in their housing. You would have seen the workers of Miao in front of Parliament the other day saying that those issues around their own job security and the restructuring is undermining their potential for the future. And it's not only just because we want more, it's because of how the system works. When you have a permanent job and when you have a decent income, you can plan, you can open an account, you can make sure that your family has a plan for the future. Then if you have insecure contract or subcontracting or labor broking jobs, it doesn't give you that stability. So I promise you, my brothers and sisters, that on the 19th of May, when I'm the mayor of Cape Town, we will do all these things and more because we know where we come from and we know where we're going. Thank you very much.